He is in the person of Motolani Alake, and he is a prominent Nigerian music executive, music journalist, a legal practitioner, and an entrepreneur. And he began his career as a lawyer, earning an LLB from Ekiti State University and completing his National Youth Service Corps in 2016 before pivoting to media and music criticism. Now, Alake rose to national visibility as editor-in-chief of Pulse Nigeria from March to December 2022, and he's known for sharp commentary on music, culture, and entertainment, and has strengthened his credentials by serving as chart manager for Nigeria's turntable Top Afro Pop Songs chart and as a jury member of the All Africa Music Awards, that's AFRIMA West Africa panel. And he now works at Virgin Music Nigeria as label and marketing manager and A&R coordinator, where he is involved in talent discovery, strategic campaigns, and deal making across the continent. And Turntable recognized him as one of Nigeria's top 30 music executives in 2023. Now, there's more to this, gentleman.
Yeah.
Now, alongside these roles, Alake is a public speaker and content creator, hosting podcasts, appearing on TV shows such as MTV-based Roundtable, and speaking at music and creative industry events, including Lagos Creative Enterprise Week and Africa NXT. And of course, this is the man we're speaking with today.
Wow.
For creatives like us or musicians like us. Alake, don't worry. Okay, we have a lot to learn. When I put it out there as a rapper, I have a lot to learn today. I wasn't joking. I meant business. And I know you also have a lot to learn. You want to ask all the questions. You would want to be on stage and be like, an Ashake, Davido, or a Wizkid. Yes, I would love to be like that. I would love to be on stage to do that. So let the questions flow. If you have any questions you want to ask him, we'll definitely do that for you. Just make sure you send it to us via WhatsApp numbers 0548841039, or better still, you can drop it via social media pages at Hitz 1039 FM. But of course, let the conversation begin. Bang, bang, bang.
Motolani,
my bro,
how are you?
I'm good.
You've been in Ghana for how many days?
Since Thursday. I landed on Thursday morning.
Yeah, your first time?
Morning. No.
You've been coming?
Yeah. I work here.
How
Ghana
do you find the place now?
Home. Ghana. I love Ghana. I've been coming to Ghana for about 10 years now.
Okay.
In the last, I was here in January as well.
Okay.
For about 3 or 4 days. But before then, I was here in 2023 twice as well. So Accra is like a second home to me. I've been many places.
Yeah. What name have they given to you since you've been in Ghana?
Wow.
you either give me a day in the week and then a day you were born in the week, and then I can give you the name.
Yeah, I think my mother said I was born on a Friday.
On a Friday then.
Kofi Alake.
Oh, Kofi.
Kofi Alake.
Kofi. Now we have to add Kofi to your name since you have been coming to Ghana. Yes,
I like it.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's be specific about the name. He is Motolani Kofi Alake. That's it. Yes.
But you know what? Yeah. I'm going to add it to my name.
Yes.
Kofi.
Yes.
Kofi Alake.
Yes, it's for Friday bones. So yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
Please, when you're putting anything, I just put Kofi there.
No problem at all. When you come, what do you eat?
Oh, what do I eat?
Very important.
Can I shout out brands here? Like places where I eat?
Okay.
Yes.
I like. My favorite thing to do now is eat at living room.
Oh, hey, this living room place. People like eating there.
People are living there.
Bro, that's my favorite thing to do.
What do you eat there? The jollof rice?
It's to die for.
It's nicer than that of Nigerian.
Yeah. That's true, man.
I agree, actually.
No, that's true.
It's fine.
You know, this war is not ending.
It's fine. I'm not going to.
This war is not ending.
I'm not going to. It's sibling rivalry. We don't have problems. It's sibling rivalry.
Yes.
So yeah, but I do agree with you. I don't disagree with you. Maybe it's also because I was born in Nigeria, so I've had it too much.
Too much.
Come here.
Yeah.
It's different. And then shout out to my friend Paul, takes me to this place where I get Sobolo, which is just brilliant.
You like Sobolo too? Yeah.
You are Ghanaian.
Yeah.
is this it took me to one place last time I was here for groundnuts, and I think it was fufu.
Oh,
Fufu
granite
and
soup
groundnut
with
soup.
granite soup.
That shit is.
Oh,
I just can't stop it.
So you have friends here.
you have
I don't
friends.
have a lot of friends.
You have a girlfriend too?
in Ghana?
Yeah.
No, not in Ghana.
Are you planning on getting one?
In Ghana?
Yeah.
We have friends here.
No. But I do. A lot of my friends are here.
Okay.
I worked in media and journalism and
Yeah.
music, so I know a lot of my friends are here.
Oh, that's good to
Especially
hear.
from like DSPs in media, for example.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Lots like Dana Kojomula, Sweki,
Yeah.
Paul,
Yeah.
Liza, a bunch, a whole community.
Sure.
Wow.
I'm seeing some of them this evening.
So what brought you to Ghana this time around?
Work actually. Work. So I don't know. I work at Virgin now.
Yeah.
So we did a partnership with Rain Labs
Yeah.
at the start of the year, or we announced our partnership
Yeah.
with Rain Labs at the start of the year, and we're just collaborating with the industry, looking at how we can help.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the job is not. We can't come here and sound like, oh, we are trying to make. No. What does the industry need? How can we be of help? So it's how we do in Nigeria. It's how we do here. It's how we do across the world. There's a lot of brilliant companies doing a lot of great things here.
Yeah.
So those are the things. How can we make things better? What does the industry need? How can we assist? Because the industry has been working for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah.
You can't come and say, "Oh, I discovered the industry." That's not your job. That's Mongo packing.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't discover something that was functional and has been successful. So we're here to just work with it.
What's the biggest song in Nigeria at the moment?
Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Currently,
Yeah.
is it so?
So I think that question is a bit tricky.
It's a very tricky
Yes,
question.
because what we might think is big in
Yeah.
Nigeria
Yeah.
is
Might not be the
different from
same.
what
Exactly.
you would
It's actually
say. So,
popping off.
yeah.
What do you think is the biggest song? in Nigeria?
Answer yours first.
Okay, mine. So Nigeria is a very
Huge country.
it's a very peculiar industry
Okay.
at this time, right? And which is why that these days it might be a little tough to have like a hit that cuts across, right? Because the industry it was fragmented. It's been fragmented over the last 5 years. When I was in media at Pulse, I kept saying it for about 2 years between 2020 and 2022. I said it a lot, like silos. But now the fragmentation is even more to like people and communities.
What's
there-
the reason for that, though?
Oh, that's a good question. About 3 years ago, there was a research by this guy called Will Page.
Okay.
He used to be the head of economics at Spotify.
Okay.
He called it localization. And the entire concept of localization is people consuming things that are theirs and prioritizing what is theirs more than what is foreign or what is outside. So, you know, there were, back in the day in the 90s and maybe the early 2000s, for example, hip-hop artists, 50 Cent was probably bigger here in Nigeria, Ghana than some
Yeah.
of our own artists.
True.
But right now, nobody's bigger than Sarkodie here.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Or
Nobody's
maybe
bigger than
Stonewall,
Black
Shatta
Sheriff.
Wale,
Yes.
Nobody's bigger than Black
Black
Sheriff here.
Sheriff.
Nobody's bigger than Drake is not bigger than
Anybody
here.
No.
Right? Drake is not bigger than Wiz or David or Burna. Like the way people consume those guys' music is different. The numbers say it, the attitude says it, everything says it. So now a lot of people, relatability is high. So in Nigeria, there's a street genre called Mara. I don't know if you know it. Don't know.
Mara?
Okay.
Do you understand?
It's
a
a
whole
street
culture.
genre?
Yeah, it's a whole culture. And if you go to inner city Lagos, inner city Nigeria, that's what people consume. You'll be shocked at, like, there's a lot of DJs. You know how you have house DJs? There's a lot of DJs, DJ Kora, a lot of them that are huge, like they are stars in that place. Whereas if you come to the island, some people might not know them, right? And then there's a boy right now, a song popping off in Nigeria called Escalidizi by a guy called Bavo.
Wow.
The boy built his community. His community is so big that he had about 1,000 pre-saves when he announced his last EP.
Wow.
Like a lot of that's a lot of some superstars don't even have 1,000 pre-sales. Do you understand? So it's the same thing across like in the East. There's a whole culture. There's a guy called Jerick in the East. He does a stadium every December in the East. Yeah. And then there's another guy. There's in the North, like huge. I was talking to my friend at AudioMax some days ago, and the North has a whole culture. So what is big, you really need to go inside.
Into where?
Exactly. But then there are some hits that really genuinely do cut across. I think currently
Those that top the charts.
yeah, that top the charts basically because, and sometimes they top the charts not because it's what people are consuming across board. It's just what the streaming audience, paying
Yeah.
the
Yes.
streaming audience consume, and that's what you can track. But thankfully, people like Turntable do represent it because they can represent radio measurement and everything, and they use it to determine how people are listening to music and listening.
Or maybe I should ask you to mention about 3 songs that are trending now in Nigeria.
Now, Olamide 99.
Okay.
I think currently, it's probably the chart topper. There's a song by this artist called Kid Kada that is really, really doing good. The third one, there's Ribena and Shode, Goddamn. That is really.
How about
Davido
Davido and
and Omale? Yeah,
Omale.
yeah, Davido and Omale.
I think that is
I
what
think
is
that's
number one in Ghana.
hot heat. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
hottest
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nigerian song currently
Yeah.
is probably that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the chart topping, is
Yeah.
probably Olamide and those guys. And then on the TikTok audience is a whole
Oh
world.
my
A whole
goodness.
community. A whole
And
community.
It's a whole thing.
Community,
Like,
all
things that you
on
might
its
not
own.
even understand. But there are some people that understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We must admit things have changed over the years.
Things are still changing.
They're still changing, and it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what you think will happen will probably change at some point, and you're asking questions. How did it even change?
Yeah,
or how did it get here? But
1,000%.
wow.
1,000%.
Wow.
It's a whole. I just find it interesting. Like studying the industry is a whole thing. Sometimes, every Tuesday, that's what I do. I just today, for example, I'm going to do it because you just need to sit and be able to understand how people think. Because if you don't, you are going to lose touch with how the industry is moving, and not just Nigeria, the entire African continent as a whole. To just see their habits. Like I look at Francophone in Cote d'Ivoire, for example. There's a guy called Imra. Like he makes drill, just like the Asaka boys here.
Yeah.
But he has taken his to another level. He did a whole a 25,000 capacity stadium in Abidjan in December. Like it's interesting to see how rap music is doing that, and then some people come to Nigeria and say, "Oh, rap music is not selling."
Yeah.
But it's not
Same
true.
here in Ghana.
It's not true.
Even here in Ghana, people are drifting from rap to singing now.
Exactly. But then the greatest Ghanaian artist of the last 10, 15 years is a rapper.
Yeah.
So,
Alake, I mean, I don't know if you've been following this, but now that you've even mentioned all these countries, I want to believe that this weekend or the past weekend saw a lot of our artists in one space. The Paris Fashion Week, usually you would see a certain kind of people there, and their names come up and you're like, okay, they deserve to be there. But this time it looks like Africa represented so beautifully, and I loved the vibe between the Ghanaian, Nigeria, Tanzania. It was so beautiful, and the focus, the spotlight was on them. And I think one of the people who also pushed that agenda so much was Adeshope. Literally, when you go on his platform or his page, you see lots and lots of things. I mean, sitting back here, you are in the space, you see a lot of these things. I mean, I don't want to say that maybe did we foresee this? Did we think one day something like this will come where we can sit confidently at home, be proud, and know that our African brothers are representing us in Paris? You as someone who is in the industry, how did it feel at that point?
Honestly, if I'm going to be totally honest with you, I didn't think we were going to be here in 2025. I didn't think so. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I didn't think so. I thought a lot of the things we've been saying in the last, I've been on record saying it. I was wrong. I would say that. I was wrong. As far 2019, 2020, I did Facts Only episodes where I said we were 5 years away from some of the things we experienced between 2020 and 2025. Because it was just and which is what I don't think we do a lot. I don't think we celebrate our wins a lot because we are chasing the next horizon. Doing a 3,000 capacity venue in America or in France is huge.
Yeah.
So you don't have to listen to one stand online that is telling you that, oh, you are not doing well because you are not doing a stadium. 3,000 is a lot.
Yes.
1,000, 500 is a lot.
Yeah.
So, like you see Molly, for example.
Yeah.
what she's doing.
Goodness.
Shake it to the max.
You understand? It's just it's mind blowing. So I didn't see it coming. To answer your question, I actually didn't. I thought the acceptance of African music was going to take a while, because if at the time it felt like we had a lot of work to do. I felt like the sound, it would take a while before they understood the sound. I knew that culture was going to influence culture, but maybe towards black people and minorities. But I didn't think like the white audiences were going to accept it this quickly. So seeing like people on fashion, I saw Adekunle Gold, for example,
Yes.
and the star treatment that he got, and I'm like, wow. So it's humbling. It's very humbling. It's something that we should be grateful for, which is why I get very angry and annoyed when I see people letting stands dictate how they celebrate their wins. It gets on my nerves. I think we need to do better at being happy and grateful, but most importantly, we need to use this opportunity to do what is best for sustainability on the home front.
Right.
I think that's what is important to me at this point.
So you were saying that, okay, let's take maybe for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Where we were as a creative industry, or maybe music industry till now. Are you saying we've made progress? Basically.
Ooh, that's a good question. In some ways, yes, we've made progress. Yes. We've made progress because of how, if you look at the amount of jobs we're getting.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if not for Afrobeats, I probably wouldn't have this job that I currently have. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Right? The amount of funding that's available to the average artist these days.
Yeah.
I'm not saying every artist has access to funding. What I'm saying is someone that has access to maybe 10K to market their EP might not have had the same chance like 5 to 10 years ago. The chances of you getting 10K if your music is good is much higher now than it was 10 years ago. The chances of a distro being able to scale really fast is much higher right now than it was even 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Because of the interest in African music. African music is now commodity.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Afrobeats. I think that might be limiting.
Yeah.
African music is a commodity, it's a product that we're using to attract people to come and see the rest of our culture. And it's influencing our film industry, fashion industry, arts. We're seeing a lot of people get opportunities and lives are getting changed. I think we're better because of some of those opportunities, because of what the eyeballs have brought. But I think we've not used them. I don't think our governments have really assisted us in terms of how we can better maximize laws, structures.
You mentioned this so
right on point.
Right on point, because it was a topic that was discussed last week, and we were literally on, especially when we saw the amount of money UK had given to the creative space.
Yeah.
Well, for a minute asking
With a 10-year plan.
With a 10-year plan, we asked ourselves, can it be done in Africa?
I don't even. They give money. Like, for example, in the middle of COVID, we heard. I don't know.
Yeah.
We heard that the government disbursed money to the creative industry. We
Your
don't know where
government or
Yeah,
our government? Our government did as well.
We
The
heard.
CAP bus.
We
fund
only
for
heard.
Some creatives had it.
Do you understand?
Some.
We heard.
Some.
We don't know
You
where
heard
it
it.
went to.
Okay,
Right?
it's the same thing here. We heard, but we don't know who
You
went
understand?
to.
We don't know who got it.
Yes.
We don't know who spent it. Right. So I look at it and I don't even think money is how they can help us, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's about money. I think it's about active collaborations with the industry. Sometimes a lot of it is also our fault. Like, I think creatives in the industry. I attended a panel, not a panel, like a lecture with the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, and some other. And there was this person who is the current commissioner for science and technology in Lagos State, who is my cousin, coincidentally, who came and spoke, and he's a tech guy. And the tech space, I believe they are close to getting a law passed in Nigeria currently. But we can be very elitist, intellectually elitist. We are very idealistic as well in terms of, they're not like us. We don't really want to mess with them. But the problem is, like, look at a guy called Tunde Onokoya some days ago. I don't know if you guys know him, the chess in slums guy. He went and the president invited him, and he went and, what do you want him to do? He has to collaborate with the president of the day so that the project that he's on, he's going to have maximum impact. The people that he needs to work with need the best chance at success. He's working with children, but a lot of people really went at his head because they didn't like the government of the day. Like, these are parts of the problems. You have to, you need to collaborate with the government of the day. So a lot of us need to find ways, create bridges with them. Now, if they don't take it up, we can talk about that. But we don't. It's not about money. Like, help us with laws, help us with bodies, help us with structures, creating conducive environment. We are going to do the rest. Like, that's all.
Yeah, the policies.
Yeah, that's the only way you can help us. So shout out to the new minister for creative economy in Lagos. Her and her team, they've been trying to collaborate with the Nigerian space. Baba Agba, who is the special advisor, they've been trying their best to do that. It's much better, in my opinion, than I've seen since I've been around. But a lot more can be done.
Motolani. So
before he continues, I mean, for those of you who are just joining us here on the show, if you're wondering who we're speaking to a prominent Nigerian music executive. He is a music journalist, a legal practitioner, and an entrepreneur. He's in the person of Motolani Kofi Alake.
I like it.
Yes.
Love it.
The only thing is that when you go online at the moment, you will not find a Kofi in there.
But he will add it.
We'll add it later. So his name is Motolani Alake. Just go online. You can Google his name. You can, whichever way, just read more about him. But when we speak of the space, he is, he's much influenced and he knows so much about the space. And it's just a pleasure to have him here. Now we want to see how best rappers like me can grow our music in the.
By the way, that song that was playing when I came in, what song was that?
Blessing by the artist who just left.
Oh, that's
and he's visually impaired.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, wow.
Yes, and
that's a really good song. I like it.
And he's looking forward to doing more. He actually asked for support, so we're praying that once he's called on people and stated the right things, I mean, people will come in to support him.
Maybe and Virgin will collaborate and then add him to the list of Joy B and the others who are on that right now.
Yes.
You just never know. But I really like that song.
Yes.
But let me ask you, Motolani, Nigeria has what you call the CIFI, the Creative Industry Financing Initiative.
Yeah.
And this is a program launched by the Central Bank of Nigeria in partnership with the Bankers Committee to support creative sector entrepreneurs, including music, film, fashion, IT. Is it working?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Oh, that's a good question. I know one or two people that have benefited.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is true. I know one or two people that have benefited, but it's not as. I don't think it's a bottomless pocket of funding and support. I think there's a limit to it. But like I said, I don't even. All these initiatives are fantastic. They are great. But I don't think this is what we really need from the government. It would be nice if it's like a cherry on top. But it's like paper over cracks at this point. We need I feel like the money is already in and around, right? And a part of the things that's just harming our spaces is just the government not doing right by us, which means that the revenue that's coming out of this place is not as great, which means purchasing power of the regular person is affected. And if the purchasing, there's a reason why we can only pay 900, 1,000 to 1,000 for is the max that DSPs are charging us. Because if they charge more, nobody, people will not pay.
Yeah,
right. But and that's why, like, if people get more successful songs outside the country, because the tariffs are higher, $4.99, $7.99, $9.99, the money that's coming from there is much higher. So if there's an indirect influence on the people and then the music industry if the government is doing right by the people. Like, don't give, like I said, don't give us money is great. But it's it's not even a short-term solution. It's a fleeting solution to it's like a drop of sand inside an Atlantic Ocean. So it's nice. I'm not saying it's not nice, but we need much more than that. That even the government will benefit from.
Okay.
Because if money is, if there's it, America is a very good place because, like, Club World Cup is happening in America now because of purchasing power.
Yeah.
Americans have a lot of disposable income. That's why everybody's dream is to go to America, right? I'm not saying become America, but let the chances, let the opportunities, let the revenue, let the purchasing power be better. If it's better, the taxation systems are going to help the government be better. Like all of the, it's an effect. It's going to affect everybody. So that's how I think about it, to be honest.
Sometime last year, an American music distributor with a Twitter handle, Own Your Leisure, said something or wrote something. He wrote that only 2% of money made by Nigerian musicians reached Nigeria. The reason is that most of the distribution companies Nigerian musicians use are based in the US and the UK, since they don't have the infrastructure in their country. When that money comes, they pay taxes of 40% in the US. The record label takes 30%, and when the money finally reaches Nigeria, it's not even up to 10%. The industry has been built in a way that Nigerians work and other people eat. They need to do something about it. Is this the reality?
I can't speak factually to every situation.
All right.
But for some people, maybe it is like that. Maybe it's not. I don't know. What I can speak to is the reality of things. And the reality of things suggests that the way the world works is that people aspire to places where their lives can be even better. And Australia, a lot of Nigerians and Africans are immigrating to Australia now. A lot of people are even leaving Canada to go to Australia. Right? A lot of people are leaving the UK to go to Australia. Now, the dream for some people is to get to the UK because they feel like the opportunities are there, because the currency is good, because purchasing power is good. Now, a lot of Australian artists, UK artists, French artists, they want to get to America. They want to get to Asia. Why do they want to do all of those things? Because they feel like there are better opportunities there to better their families, because most of these artists that are making money, most of them are from underprivileged backgrounds. They are trying to create generational wealth. So are you going to let the money stay here while you can be investing it in better things, in more stable economies? Like, I'm not saying don't invest at home. A lot of them are investing at home, so that is not true. A lot of them are putting money in things at home, things that you will never even find out about. So I think that's an indictment on artists, and it's half the information. A lot of them create opportunities in places. Like, I know an artist that has a chain of filling stations, right? Yeah. And employs about 1,000 people. So you would never know it's him, but it's him, right? So you just, the reality is, it's not safe. Most people that have money, even the billionaires, it's not just the artists. The billionaires don't have their money in the country. Just because the economy is volatile. Like, putting your money in the Nigerian stock market, it's unstable. The naira is unstable. Like, you can't be hedging your money in those situations. It's it's tough questions. So it's not an artist thing. It's a money thing. It's a business thing. As for percentages, that's another business case. You can't, if a company is giving you an advance and they are putting a marketing budget on you and they are trying to make your career better, yes, most likely the chances why they are doing that is because you are already a bankable artist. But then it's not a charity. They are there to make money. So you can't come and say that a lot Nigerian artists, I think what the person was trying to say is that, after the percentages, they are not making money. That is a lie. That is a blatant lie. Artists, especially the big artists, they are really, really successful. Some of them are first-time generational first generation millionaires in dollars and euros. Like, you don't want to know how rich some of these guys are. Do you think it's stones that they're using? You hear some other day an artist. You think it's stones that they're using to fund their lifestyle? You see an artist some days they'll just file in 6 expensive cars in one day. Is it stones that they're using to buy those things? You know, I think people need to stop speaking with exaggeration, and I think people need to examine all the facts. And I don't like when people address like what looks like the problem here. Go to the depth, right? Even if the person gets rich, it's unlikely that they're going to save their money in the so it's just
Interesting.
it's just like, but there's a lot of people. These guys, some of them still have some of their money there. You can't just put all your money there. The bank might close down. Are you joking? So
Yeah.
that's it.
You know, now that you're still in Ghana, there's a talent that I've admired. I had the privilege of speaking to him. And then I checked on your ex, and there he was, like you actually wrote something about.
You reposted.
You reposted. Ara DJ.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of her. I'm a huge fan of her.
Tell me about it.
I'm a huge fan of her DJs. Huge
What
fan.
about him?
What
do you
about
like?
him?
I like his voice. I think his voice there's something about his voice. His voice is very retro. It sounds like something I would have heard on High Life or Hip Life in the early
Yes.
2000s.
Yeah.
2000s, right? Or in the late 90s. His voice reminds me of, it's a very classic, and the way he uses it as well.
Yes.
You can also, there's also something spiritual about the way he uses he
The
writes.
spiritual side is
The
working.
spiritual side is very
You seem to know him so well.
I like him. I saw him on Saturday. I'm very cool with his team as well. I'm a huge fan. I also know the person that discovered him when I was in a group. This is not new. This is what he's always been. So the song that introduced me to him was Jesus Christ. Listen, that's one of my most played songs. It was my second most played song last year. Jesus Christ, yeah, facts.
Wow.
I can show you here.
How
Do you want to see it?
How do you relate to it? It is not in English, right?
He sang it in Twi or Ewe or something.
Chi. Say
Yeah,
chi.
Twi.
Chi.
Twi.
Say chi.
It's like, I don't know what he's saying, but shout out to my friend Kojo Q.
Yeah.
He broke it down to me in January what he was saying. He broke it down line by line.
Yeah.
And then shout out to my colleague Barbara. So I have a colleague that works at Barbara. I asked Barbara to explain it to me. She laughed. And then she
Barbara
broke
is
it
your
down.
colleague?
Yeah, Barbara is my colleague.
Barbara is.
Yeah,
I know
is my
Barbara.
colleague. You know Barbara? Yeah, shout out to Barbara.
Probably you're not serious.
So yeah, that boy is. I think the sky is the starting point for listen. I still listen to that Jesus Christ sometimes, and I'm like, if you have to be special to be able to write a song like this. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
The Nigerian music industry is doing well. It's going high.
Yeah.
If you are to advise the Ghanaian music industry 3 things to glean from your success, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we should all not make the mistake of coming to sound like, oh, Nigerian music has figured it out. Oh, now Ghana needs to be inspired. Like, I don't think we should take it like that. I did a facts only episode, which is why a lot of Ghanaians like me.
Yeah.
I did a facts only episode about 3 or 4 years ago, where I was breaking down the influence of Ghanaian music on African music on Nigerian music.
Yeah.
And I broke it down into 4 or 5 parts. So Ghanaian music is a core. When I say core, it's a Ghanaian culture. It's a core part of Afrobeats culture.
Yeah.
Like Abena, Banku, Odo. Like all of those things they are core part of Afrobeats lingo. And so we need to. I was having a conversation with my friend Sway Kid. That's Ryan Munir, who used to work at Boomplay. Where we met up yesterday. So sorry, my guy. I know we meant to see last night, but we're going to see tomorrow. I love you, my bro. And it feels like a downtime right now, but it's really not, because a lot of people what you call a downtime. There's Molly, who has the hottest sung by an African currently across the world, and then you have Black Sheriff, who just did a show in London. So I don't what you're calling it down. So how exactly is it even a downtime? You know, I think it's just patience. Everything. The last time I was in Ghana, I was on another radio station where we were asked this question, myself and Godwin Tom, and everything happens in cycles, right? And sometimes it's a downtime, sometimes you're up. And right now it feels like Ghana is not producing as much stars as people want to. Maybe it's because Nigerian artists are doing it. It's just about patience. In another 1-2 years, there's going to be another explosion. The reason why it doesn't feel like Nigeria has downtimes is because of a few factors. One, Ghana is about 40 million people, 50 million, right? Nigeria is about 200 million. Right, the economy in Ghana, $1 to cedi is like 11 cedis, right? $1 to naira is about 1,600, right? So you see the disparity, the economic. I'm not saying things are not crazy in Ghana. Don't get me wrong, but there's levels. You understand? A country of 200 million people, where there's that much disparity in terms of dollar and purchasing power, it's ridiculous, right? A lot of people are making music from the pain. A lot of people are making music from not going back. That's why it feels like Nigerian artists are hungrier. They go harder. Because what they've seen, the moment they see the way, nobody wants to stop. They are not going to stop.
They keep going.
They just going. Whatever, keep going. It's just how we're built, right? That's why you wake up 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning. There's traffic on Thornmill Bridge. It's just what it is. Right? It's the hustle mentality, and we're all different. Now, the second reason why it looks like that is Nigerians were always getting inspired by other people. We're always collaborating with other people, right? So every time it looks like, look at what Amapiano did in Nigeria, right? It's South African. Or South African origins, right? So Nigerians are always getting inspired by other cultures, so it creates other things. So there's nothing to advise on. Ghanaian artists always seem to create things that are unique from the ground up, and Molly is doing something right now.
Oh yes,
that seems different. I think it's like African dance music or something like that.
Afro dancehall.
It's just it's insane. Like maybe that's going to be the next trope that's going to produce the next set of like Azonto did or like Hip Life did or like. Do you understand? Or like Pom Pom. You don't know. So. Shout out to you. Need to just it's patience. It looks like a downtime right now, but it's not really a downtime. Now that 1-2 years things are going to shoot up again. That's it. I don't think there's any advice to be given. Just patience.
I mean, he mentioned that, and then it also just brought my attention to something. You know, we are here as Ghanaians. We see a lot of Nigerians come here. Artists come, and there's so much love. There's so much support. But we feel we don't get same in Nigeria.
Really?
Yes. When our artists want to come, have their tours and all that, it seemed difficult. It seemed a certain way, even promoting their music there, it seemed difficult. But when they come here, when you all come here, it seems so easy. You're well received, and to the point that we make sure the music is what it is before you even move on to other countries. Why does it feel that way?
I don't think it's like that.
Is it not lopsided?
No, I don't think so. I think, again, not the problem here. Let's address it from the roots.
All right.
The root of this problem is very simple. Or what looks like this problem. Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people. I have the stats on the amount of music that comes out of Nigeria that people upload every day. It is ridiculous. It is the highest in the continent by far. Right? To get to the amount of number of songs that get uploaded in Nigeria, you have to combine maybe 10 African countries. Yes, it is ridiculous. Now, South Africa makes most of the money on the African continent, but the volume is by far Nigeria. It's not funny, right? And because of that, you heard what I said now about like the fragmentation.
Yes.
Like that boy that I'm talking about, Marvel, he performed at Aboa. There's a video, you can check his Instagram. Kids were celebrating this like you would think it was Davido. Right? Now, at every level in Nigerian music, there are stars. At every level. Everybody is fighting to be Wiz, David, Rema, Bonner. Do you understand? So there's a different level of hunger and hustle.
Good.
That Nigerians, that you need to get to that level. Nigerian artists understand. Like right now, the prevailing language or advice that people give to hawk your music, and Davido started it. Have you seen how Davido hawks his music? Like, you have to carry it on your head. Do you understand? You have to carry it on your head. Literally. For people to care, because the attention span is crazy. There's a saturation of content. So to stand out as a Nigerian artist, it's a lot of work. Now, you are coming into that industry. Yes, you're a star. Yes, people know who you are. But the name might not be enough. The name is enough for some people, or because there's a difference between having listeners and fans.
Right.
That's another level.
Listeners and
And
fans.
Do you understand? A lot of people have listeners.
They don't have fans.
Only a few people have fans. Only a few people have communities. Only a few people, like Black Sheriff in Nigeria, for example, has fans.
Wow.
Yes. Does that make sense? He has fans. Amare has fans.
Wow.
Because of like the pipeline of the Ote and the cool kids, she has fans. So some of those guys, when they come, they might not struggle as much because they've also cultivated it from the start. Someone like Black Sherry from the era of Kweku the Traveler has been cultivating it. Shout out to the company that signed him. They've been doing well with that. And his team, shout out to Aubrey. Aubrey worked at Boomplay, so he did a lot of work regarding that. So they do a lot of work. So when they come as well, they don't just, it might not be enough to just go on radio to announce it. You gotta go hard.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes
It
sense.
makes sense, yeah.
You gotta
it's
go
all hard work.
hard. Like you, I'm not saying become like a street, but there are ways. Be creative with the marketing. Use the right avenues. TikToks. Don't just do radio interviews and now you are saying, "Oh, I've done." No, and now people don't care. No, it's not about people not caring. They just don't know.
I think I would just use this as an example because it's something that we all enjoy here in Ghana.
Yeah.
When it comes to Big Brother Nigeria, we enjoy it so much. Back then it was a whole Africa thing, and then now it comes to our DJs.
Yeah.
I love DJ Jimmy Jat so much.
Yeah.
I love there are quite a number of DJs. I remember a few times we've had Ghanaian DJs on the Big Brother house. It's probably DJ Black, who is currently our boss here at Hitz FM.
Yeah.
I don't know which other DJ has Varosky been there.
Varosky, I don't think so. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So I think there's a segment which is on Saturdays where DJs go into the
Saturday,
house and then you do their thing. And sometimes you wonder, and I had to personally inquire because when they were opening the Big Brother house in Nigeria, I had the privilege of being there, to be in the house for a few days just to have a feel and experience it and all that. And then when I came back to Ghana, I was happy because it felt like we had people from different countries coming in there to see what you had and what you were going to put out there. So now the idea was that subsequently anything that comes up, definitely you get Ghanaians going, you get Kenyans going and all that.
Yeah.
But then in the long run, it looked like everything was Nigeria. All the DJs that were coming were from Nigeria. I inquired and it looked like there was no way we were going to go into that space. It was going to be difficult. And then I'm asking, what are we supposed to do? You are not telling us, but the thing is that, it's Nigeria and there's Nigeria. And it's been tough like that, yet we still continue to enjoy and support this project. So what is it that we are not doing right to give us that chance to be part of things like that, especially when we are enjoying it back home in Ghana as well?
Numbers. Right. Numbers might be playing a role in that. Okay. While I was in media, I used to collaborate a lot with the brand that was behind Big Brother Niger.
Right.
And I still have a lot of friends in the house. And what you would discover a lot is the numbers behind some of these things are huge. Right. And sometimes it's just people being set in their ways and not realizing the advantages of being able to crack things open. It's the cost of convenience sometimes. Like for example, Mara is a huge part of Nigerian culture. I don't think in Mara, I think DJ YK is the only one that has been on there.
Okay.
DJ YK, I think is the only one. There's a lot of other ones that have not been there because a lot of people tend to be defined by what is cool, not because they are doing it wrong, but because that works. Like there's been no slide in the numbers. There's been no, maybe it increases every time they even do it. So it's difficult for them to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's difficult for them to come and say, maybe we should try this. But it's nice for it to be pointed out because there's an audience acquisition or better loyalty when you open things up.
Yeah.
And I hope like some of them are listening to this. And if they are not listening, this is a conversation that I'll have with some of my people in house about like making it as wide as possible because Big Brother, we call it Big Brother Nigeria, but it's not essentially Nigerian. This is a conversation that I can have with some of the people that I know in house to just say, okay, I think maybe try this, maybe try that, maybe make it more inclusive and all of that. That's what I can do. Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering to that. Adam, good morning. Adam too is half Nigerian, half Ghanaian. Or Adam, I didn't say it right.
You say?
Did I say it right or not?
Oh, I mean, yeah. You said it. You said it nice.
Yeah, and he's also a big supporter of.
That's
He's a journalist, an artist manager.
I know him.
Oh,
We have a meeting
Adam is
today.
everywhere.
Adam is everywhere.
He knows Adam already.
I know
Oh.
him, bro.
after I
2nd
returned-
August.
I
Oh,
returned
wow.
from Dubai.
Yeah.
I mean, my love for Nigeria has increased.
Oh wow.
After
Why?
you met the first lady.
I met your first lady. I hosted the MEC Foundation.
A
First
big man,
Ladies.
oh brother.
Oh, he's a big man.
Big man.
and she I mean, I like the way she encountered me and expressed her appreciation and commended me for what I did. And I mean, we had a very interesting conversation, and I'm grateful to Her Excellency Oluremi Tinubu CEO, and I mean, their love has deepened.
My bro is not
For
affiliated.
Nigeria.
Adam Mensanchoto.
That's it.
You have any questions for
Oh,
Kofi?
Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi Alake.
that's right. Recently, there was, I think, was it in the Hennessy Cypher? Sarkodie was talking about, it was like an advice to African artists. You know, now, like you said, Africa music is a very hot commodity, and a lot of investors are getting in.
Yeah.
And he was throwing a caution to them on what they sign up for. Because if you're not careful, it will be like a robbery, broad daylight robbery. I mean, from where you sit, what advice would you give to African artists whose music are a hot commodity now and other foreign investors are coming for them? What should they look out for in some of these deals? I mean, like Sarkodie threw it up in the cipher.
What should they should shout first and shout out to Sack? Big massive shout out. The bomb biddy.
What did you say?
The bomb biddy.
We understand.
Don't
We
Don't worry
understand.
about
What does
that.
it mean anyway?
Hey, the point is what?
Like
Like the greatest one.
yes, like the greatest one. Like
It's
you
an
know,
appellation that we
No.
give to kings and chiefs or Brembom.
The bomb.
But because he's a rapper,
Yeah.
Obidipombide.
Yeah.
yes.
I don't think it's there's any advice that I can give to anybody that you don't know already. Like, let's be real. All of us are figuring it out on the fly. Sometimes trial by error, sometimes, But the one thing I can say for sure is Africans need to understand the importance of ownership that is profitable, and ownership that means nothing.
Okay.
Essentially, 100% of $10,000 is much less than 30% of $1 million. And I find a lot of people being obsessed with holding on to that $10,000.
Okay.
Even if the chances of boosting it to 100,000 and still owning 80%, 70% of it is going to be increased if they if they collaborate. Because over the years, I think we've trained ourselves to be very apprehensive of things that can better our lives. Like I know a lot of people in Nigeria, for example, even francophone countries, where they are just scared. There's just this apprehension. There's this fear. There's this paranoia because their OGs have told them that I'm gonna be scared of those guys or something. So I think that's like first things first. You have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
If you want to succeed at the highest level possible, you cannot do it alone. I promise you. That I can say for a fact. Whatever thing that you think you can, if you want to blow in America, you cannot do it by yourself. You cannot do it as an independent artist. It is not going to happen. That is a fact. I'm not trying to put fear in your mind or anything. It's just the reality.
It is what it is.
You need to partner up in a place that's going to favor you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you want. People want different things.
Yeah.
The good thing right now is that the options in the music industry they are very flexible. Back in the day, it was record deals. If you're not signing a record deal, you are not going anywhere. Now, there's now licensing deals. You can just do a license.
Yeah.
And now you can do a simple distribution.
Simple.
You can change your life.
Yeah.
Right? And another thing I need people to understand is that you get what you negotiate. You don't get. There's nothing like fairness in business. You get what you negotiate. And the entire concept of negotiation is compromise. You are not going to have everything you want.
Right.
You need to prioritize what is important to you. You are the best deal possible is what you negotiate, and you understanding that the people you are trying to collaborate with are taking a risk. Even if you're a big artist and bankable, they're still taking a risk. So you need to understand that, walk into rooms understanding what is important to you,
Right.
and what might not be important. Especially if you are faced with the possibility of the big success that you dream of. And then another thing is Nigerian, African artists, especially West African artists, need to stop being obsessed with money that makes no sense.
Please explain that.
Your entire catalog cannot be making 1,500 and you're asking for $1 million. You understand? The entire concept of a deal that makes sense is that it makes sense for everybody. That money doesn't even make sense for you. Let's go there. I think people need to do market research. Like I know a big artist, legendary artist in Nigeria right now that is about to release an album, and what it's currently doing is market research. Like if an OG like that is doing market research,
What goes into that?
what goes into that is understanding the sound, understanding the palettes, studying data, studying the change in attitude, studying social media, studying marketing tactics.
All right.
You understand? Understanding what operates, talking to his friends that have done certain types of deals. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, you got this, what were you making? What did you give up to get this? How does it make sense? Because if you are going to walk into a room, you need to know exactly what you're walking into. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They just open their mouths and ask for $1 million. Like the way African artists ask for $1 million is just insane, man. Like everybody wants $1 million. And I just need.
We heard that. We haven't heard
need,
anything again.
I need people to just calm down. Like,
Well,
calm down.
I'm trying to say at times, I mean, some of them are fond of quoting outrageous figures.
Yeah. Some people
Quote
do
and
be
you
quoting
don't bring anything.
outrageous fees that if you were on the other side, you would react the same way the other side is reacting.
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense. But a lot of them don't do it because they feel like, a lot of them don't do it because they're even greedy. They do it because they've been hearing people throw numbers around. And some of these numbers are not real to begin with. That's just a fact. You now walk into the room thinking, oh, me too. Especially people thinking, oh, it's because of talent. I have talent. But talent is great. But what are you willing to do with it? Just like I was talking the other time. Can you hawk your music?
1-0 is doing it.
You understand? You understand? Can you if Davido is hawking his music, I don't see why
you cannot do that.
Cannot do that.
Why your team is asking you that Baba shoot content. You are saying,
I'm tired.
You are saying today my mental
Health is not okay.
I'm not saying don't prioritize your mental health.
But
Your mental health is important. But Baba, you've collected money.
Wake up.
You've collected money. Can you stand up and make this money back?
And make your mental health work.
Your mental health work. Because Baba, when they collect this money, and when they use and they flex, everything was fine.
Okay.
yeah.
But now that you have to work and release music, Baba, you need to jazz up. You understand? So I just some people. It also makes a mockery of people that are actually going through genuine mental health struggles. You know, because it's a very convenient excuse that people use these days. So just aside from the jokey stuff, it's just walk into tables knowing what your actual value is. I'm not saying that's your value as a human being, but right here and now, in this conversation that you're about to have, this is be realistic about the max that you can get, right?
Yeah.
And you also need to understand that the more money you ask for, the more liabilities that you're going to have.
Of course.
True.
So that's it.
Ooh.
See, interesting. Talking about this figures, I mean, coming to the event side among others, I'm sure you've engaged other artists in some of these areas, events, bookings. I mean, you think most of the artists, like the A-list artists, are pricing themselves out of the market?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. I did an article about this. That was the last article I did before I left media in 2022.
You've not left, please. You've
You
not
are-
left.
That is
You are still with us.
before I left. Pause.
Pause. That's fine. But media, yes.
Before I left,
You are saying
actually, yes, you can. You that's a good observation. You never really leave media.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
All right.
Before I left Pulse, that's the last article that I wrote. And it was after people started complaining about Ashake charging $75,000 naira for a regular ticket at Flight Time Fest in December 2022. And I felt compelled because I had a perspective, but I felt like people also had a perspective. And someone needed to paint the picture of what the reality, why is it like that?
Yeah.
Right? The article is still online if I'm not mistaken. And I spoke to about 8 to 9 event organizers in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. I actually sat down over a period of like 2 weeks. I spoke with them, got different perspective. And what you would hear is very, very interesting perspectives, right? Yes, some people are pricing themselves out of the market. That is true. But for the most part, it's just the reality of where we are, right? And it's sad, because what one of those event organizers said to me, and I quote, is, I don't want to say they're overcharging. The advent of exposure to foreign standards have made African artists, quote and unquote, understand their worth. Do you understand?
Yeah.
These guys are making really cool bread from foreign touring. They make really good money.
Wow.
Right? And since that started, they do a 5,000 capacity. They are charging X amount of money. Maybe they charge $100,000. $100,000 in Nigerian money is about, how much is that? That's about that's a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? And now I think it's about 150 million naira. No. Or is that it? Or 160 million. Right? So now you want them to come to Lagos in December and perform for 40 million or 50 million.
Yeah.
Now that might not make as much sense to them because
153.
exactly.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Why should I'm performing to the exact same people, even more, right? That's one. Number two, the standards they are exposed to, right, which is the part of the event organizers, like the setting, the production, the sound. Their riders are really, really incredible. Like, Burna Boy performed at of something food and drink festival. I went there in SA, and what I heard is that he actually brought his own sound, right? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the cost of doing that in Lagos, for example, if he asks you for that money now, it will sound ridiculous. Now, if the event organizer now goes and pays that money, it's naturally going to have an effect on ticket price.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the brands that are giving these guys money, right? You also need to understand that the people that are buying the tables, like this is another angle to this entire conversation. The people that are buying the tables are the capitalists, are the big ballers, right? Your people that own the multinational companies, they are the ones that are going to buy 10 tables. Oh my God, how far now? Put me down for 10 tables, I'll buy 10 tables, right? The one perspective that I thought was the most interesting in this research that I did was this guy, if I pay him, like if I allow him to perform at the end of year party of any of these multinationals, they have seen him for that December.
Yeah.
They won't want to buy tables at my show. Do you understand? So for me to say artists don't perform there, I need to pay a premium on whatever it is that already sounds exorbitant.
Hey.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yes.
Like, he ordinarily is meant to cancel and clean out from all of these people. Now I'm saying maybe you can perform for one instead of 5. How am I making it up to you? I need to now make it up to you because I need all the other 4 now to come and buy 10 tables each at my show. The billionaires.
Wow.
So it's really not about, some of them are charging, some people are pricing themselves out of the market. That is true. Producers included now, they're being ridiculous.
Any advice?
I'll say any advice.
Life go show you, man.
Motolani doesn't like.
I don't like advising people.
It's
Like,
all your
because
life.
people will do what they want at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right? So I don't need to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
What to do.
Life go show you.
He go show you. He go show you.
And just to add up this briefly, I mean, because you spoke about artists pricing themselves out of the market, I mean, let's come to African artists also charging African promoters.
Yeah.
It's always an issue. And we always end up hearing stories
Promoters always
complaining because they feel like, listen, we're all coming from,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
And it's always an issue.
Yeah. I think with that, part of the solutions that I gave in that article that I wrote is event organizers need to have like a body, right? And they need to create like an algorithm of fees that can be charged.
Okay.
The good thing is the artists are still interested on touching base with the home front.
Okay.
A lot of them are still interested. The interest might not be high, but it's remote, but it's there. Because some of them still understand the importance of dedicating some time to the home front. Some of them don't care. I don't really blame them. But some of them still, because they do that, they need to, which is what some of them are doing already, to give them credit. They are doing it. Some of them are not charging the monies that they charge abroad on the home front. It might not be a golfing difference, but it's something.
Yeah.
They try. Because they still have to deal with the fact that the quality of the show might not be great, which is some of the things that the promoters need to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So I just think that the promoters need to come together and talk, and maybe we need to rejig the artists bodies, right? Because this conversation cannot be had in silos.
At all.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It has to be a collaborative opportunity where everybody understands the impact on the industry, the impact on the listenership, how it benefits them to perform to their fans on the home front. Because like maybe a day, block out 3 days, everybody should sit down and actually negotiate what can be applicable over the next 1 to 2 years based on the currency of the day, on the exchange rate for the day, and how you can account for fluctuations and change, because we can't all be shouting. What is the solution? Let's start thinking solution. And the only solution, the only place where the solution is inter-body collaborations, collective bargaining agreements, all of these things.
Exactly.
I think it's really how we need to start thinking, to be honest.
Okay.
It's been a great conversation, Doreen.
Of course, and big up to our amazing listeners who also sent in their questions. Big up to you, DJ Mensa. DJ Mensa, I'm lobbying for you to go and play BB Niger. So get ready for that. So yes, and
That's Sakode is.
I know. Yeah.
Now that my name is Kofi.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm joking. Thank you for thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have these conversations, and hopefully we can have a better industry, because it's not enough that it's Nigerian, it's Ghanaian, is whatever. At the end of the day, everybody it go show you for body that all of us are the same thing. It go tell you, like, you will realize especially when you're abroad. You realize that Ghanaian is more of your brother than
We're brothers. We're
brothers.
Forget about the Jollof wars and
the Jollof wars are even. The Jollof
makes
was,
it sweeter.
It makes it sweeter. So it's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Not at all.
It's not
and
that
a small fight on
It's
social
not that
media.
deep.
Joey, I can't block me on Twitter, but that's fine. Joey, I can't block.
What did you do?
Blocked Olele on X, but that's fine.
What did you do?
We were fighting. We were doing Ghana Nigeria debate, but that's fine.
Shouts to my guy Oli.
All right, and this is where we ended here on Daybreakers. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for being part of the show. Remember, we are on every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. But of course, a very big, massive thank you to our amazing producers, Mr. Hagler, Debbie Sweeney, Apnes, and to our DJ Fantastic, who is always fantastic here on the show. And to our amazing sponsors, Betway, you always get way more with Betway, EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa, MTN, everywhere you go, ITEL A90, truly durable and colorful, and of course, Franco Trading Enterprise, still phone, Papa Fee. Thank you so much.
Before we go, somebody says, refreshingly brilliant masterclass with Motolani Alake. Kudos.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
For Kofi Neka.
Kofi. And then shouts to you, 2nd August. Adam.
Up next is Music Box with Mr. Hagler. Enjoy and also enjoy the rest of our programs.
This is Hitz.